Oh, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. This is Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls on Gift of Healing TV. And I'm Sara Jane, and this evening I'm joined by Jackie Bent. And yes, folks, for those of you who've been here before, my sister and founder of A Dodo, If Everyone Cares, the Emotional Baggage Diet, and somebody who started this path actually long before I did. So somebody I am very, very happy to have these type of conversations with. And our topic for tonight is 360 degrees. How big is your comfort zone? And I've got an enlightenment that came to me only yesterday. But I'm going to start by saying, Jackie, welcome. And please, I'll let you start this conversation because you're the one who came up with the title.
Fantastic. Well, hello, Sarah, and hello, everybody. Well, whatever time of day it is, good morning, afternoon, evening, whichever it is. Okay, 360 degrees and how big is your comfort zone? This is something that I used to use when I was working with a number of clients who they were struggling with confidence and self-esteem, and life had really thrown them some curveballs, mainly through long-term illnesses or disabilities. And we used to talk about how big was their comfort zone, where did they feel comfortable? And we started to talk about that actually, wherever we are standing, sitting, walking, there's 360 degrees around us. And there's literally, you see now, I'm imagining I'm back in the training room and I want to stand up and literally point round me and turn around, but I can't do that because I've sat on one of those exercise balls and I'll start bouncing everywhere. So we've got 360 degrees. Wherever we are, we can turn round and we can literally point in a different direction. And one of the little challenges that I would set them to help them to step outside of what was an increasingly small comfort zone for them in that moment because of what life had thrown at them. The challenge was to turn in a slightly different direction and try something new or something they hadn't done for quite a while because their confidence and self-esteem had been knocked. And the deal was that if they didn't feel comfortable, that was absolutely fine. They could step back into that circle, however small or big that circle of comfort was for them. And then they could go, that's absolutely fine. I've got another 359 degrees that I can try. And if I really, really didn't like that, then maybe I turn 15 degrees and try something a little bit different. Or if I really, really, really didn't like that, I can turn 180 and I can try something that's very different from that. And it's about slowly trying different things and pushing yourself outside of that comfort zone. So, Sarah, I'd like you to ask me some questions now. And let's have a real conversation about it because I'm sure you've got some views on it as well.
Right. Okay. I have, but this is the enlightenment that came yesterday.
Brilliant.
Okay. The way out of your comfort zone is to step back into yourself.
Yeah, very good.
It is really to step back into yourself and to find who you are. I love what you just said, trying different things, absolutely. And it is about us trying different things. What feels comfortable to me? But the other big bit that came to me, it's not just about stepping back into ourselves to find ourselves, is that our comfort zone is created by fear.
Oh, that is so true. And so just from I think what you've said is incredibly insightful. And just to go from that, and if I put myself back in that training room and with clients and everything else, I can actually say to you that a number of my clients will say that actually they'd lost that confidence in that themselves and who they were. And actually, it was quite a struggle to step back in and find who they were. And because they'd lost something of themselves through the crisis that had hit them, through the way that life had thrown them some curveball that was outside of their control. And illness is outside of people's control. They don't ask for it. People don't ever ask for that. And those were the people that I was working with. And actually, and I mean, Sarah, okay, you're my sister, and you know this of me from myself. I have struggled enormously myself. I can't say I haven't. I still do at times, and I need to remind myself of some of these tools and strategies, because sometimes when you're quite isolated from the world, so I work on my own quite a lot of the time, and so I might go for days where I'm just working and working and working, and I don't have a decent conversation with anybody. And when you have that, once you withdraw into that, and it becomes a habit, you can actually start to lose some of that confidence. And it's about getting yourself out there and finding that. But once you lose the confidence in yourself, it's quite hard to step back into yourself. So one of your little challenges, or one of the things that you challenge yourself with, could be, you know, challenge yourself to actually explore who you are and what you want and what would make you smile again. And I don't know where this thought came from, but I was thinking about Patch Adams, Robin Williams in the film Patch Adams, and laughter being one of the best bits of medicine. If you're on the computer and you're watching this now, then the chances are that you can go onto YouTube and go on there and look for comedy sketches and find something to laugh and smile about, because when you're laughing and you're smiling, it's easier to set yourself a goal and a challenge. Right, back over to you, Sarah.
Absolutely. But what I realized was, with my own healing journey, that when the start of my healing journey with that broken jaw and realizing that I spent my whole life not knowing who I was. I spent nearly 40 years not knowing who I was. And then when that catalyst occurred, it was, and I only thought about it when I was writing an article today about this, was I decided to go back into me to find me. I let go of everything else. And yes, that meant a marriage. I got made redundant from a job. Most people would look at it, my whole world fell apart, when actually, as Neil Donald Walsh says, it actually fell together. And the reason that it worked for me at that point in time was because it was, okay, what can I do to help me? And the terminology I just used in this article was about finding myself under all the rubble.
Peeling back the layers of an onion as well. Yes. You know, definitely peeling back the layers of an onion. And that's a really good one, because within that, there are many times when our eyes may water and we may feel like crying because it's uncomfortable. And it is about finding that and getting to the core of who you are. And sometimes for some people, you need to be doing something. I don't know. I mean, I can only talk from my personal experience in this. Is I'm much better if I'm doing something because it will make a difference in somebody else's life. And I can step outside of my comfort zone for somebody else far easier than I can step outside of my comfort zone for me, because I'm still on that journey myself. I'm still discovering who I am, and I've got some stuff that I still need to deal with. And I think life is about, I think if we had nothing to deal with, wouldn't life be boring? Because you're not finding anything new, and it would become a bit stale, and maybe you wouldn't understand those amazing days where you feel happy and you're smiling and laughing. Maybe they wouldn't have so much meaning. And I must admit, when I get those times and those moments, and this is one of them, hey, I'm having a conversation with a real person. It's like, wow, I'm not just talking to myself. No, but I mean, I am jesting a certain bit, but I think that, you know, there's that element of it, and finding yourself can sometimes be hard. And I would say, you know, and Sarah doesn't know I'm going to say this, I would say go back, look at some of Sarah's videos, some of the people that she's done interviews with on Gift of Healing TV. There's some incredible resources, and there's one coming up in a few weeks' time that I'm really looking forward to do with ancestral healing. And it's quite remarkable, you know, some of the things that can actually carry forward within families. And one of those things can be lack of confidence and self-esteem, and it's usually those types of things that can affect our comfort zone. And people get so stuck in the rut. And I might have told this story before. In fact, I probably have on one of the Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls. There's an old couple and they're sat on their stoop out in the Midwest, and they've got their dog there lying on the stoop with them. And the dog keeps going, oh, and groaning and whatever else. And this stranger walks up and he's chatting with them. And then this dog keeps making this groaning noise and whatever else. And in the end, the gentleman says to them, you know, come on, what's the matter with your dog? And the old farmer guy, he turns around and he goes, oh, he's lying on a nail and he's uncomfortable. The man goes, well, why doesn't he move? Well, he's not uncomfortable enough yet.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest gifts we can have is when we start to feel frustrated by something. Once we start to feel frustrated about something, that's when we start to make changes, because we start to look for how we can do something different. And if you're really stuck in a tiny comfort zone, one of the suggestions I used to make to my clients was, if you're used to coming in and going straight to the kitchen and getting a biscuit and getting a cup of tea, why not change where the biscuit jar is, where the kettle is, in your lounge or your sitting room, wherever it is? Change the order of things in there so that when you come in, you're not able to just go and sit in that favourite chair in that same spot. You know, move things round, juggle them up a bit. And things like that, tiny little tools can make a difference. Sarah, I can see you grinning away. Come on, let's hear your bit on this.
But the number of times there's been a sort of a cut off with something, and it's right, that bit's right, I am going to have a change round. I will change the lounge round, I will change the bedroom round, I will change, and it's not just a little change round. I will do a big change round. I will rearrange something. An end has come, so let's change things around. That doesn't necessarily mean decorating. You know, it's just like moving furniture. The bed's going to be in a different place, or the settee is going to be in a different place, or something. It's something I used to do. That was when I was in that comfort zone that became so uncomfortable. I actually termed it that my ex and myself were in parallel ruts. His was lined with rose petals. Mine was lined with rose thorns. And eventually I had enough. I actually had enough. Don't get me wrong, my heart went out to him, but I was the one that called a day on it. And I really, really hope, actually both of them, because they're two exes, I really hope that they've got good lives, etc. I wish them all the best. There's no animosity to either of them.
Yeah.
But you know, that rut, I felt so uncomfortable. Eventually it got to the stage where I had to get out.
I think what's interesting with that is that and I hope I'm not overstepping the bounds, so you can tell me to shut up if you want to, in a nice way, please. Then we are live. That we were brought up very much, we had a family hotel, and we were brought up to please everybody else. The guests had to have an amazing time. We had to think ahead of things that they would want, that would make their stay with us even better. We had to be very savvy in what we did to make sure that everything went well for them and they had a lovely holiday, whether that was serving them in the morning their breakfast and learning that they liked tomato ketchup or brown sauce or Lea & Perrins or whatever it was. Other makes do make it, not just Worcester sauce and Lea & Perrins. I think they'd say that on ordinary television. There are other makes and brands available. But we were brought up to be like that. And I think within our relationships, what we did is we took those lessons that we'd learned as children and we did everything to please everybody else. And we hadn't really discovered who we were as people. And therefore there came this time when, you know, it wasn't right anymore. And I totally can relate to where you were, and you know that I had quite a hard time as well. And it's funny because Sarah talked just now about changing things around and really changing around. And behind me, you can probably see there's one of my vision boards, and I don't know if I was to move my computer up to see the camera, I don't know if I can do this. There's another one up above that and another one up above that. And they are about 3 areas in my life that I want to be working on. And one of them is my work, because I adore my work. I'm passionate about it. And another one really is about what my past was and how I'd like to see my future. And another one is the fact that at some stage in the future, I would actually love to find a partner and have a relationship that is based on both of us being real people and true to ourselves, and having that mutual love and caring and everything else, and it not just being one-sided. So I've done that. I've just been doing those changes myself. I did them before. And when I moved home, I'd taken my boards down. And I don't know why I'd taken them down. And, you know, it feels really lovely having them back again and having things of beauty around me. So, yeah, step outside your comfort zone in whatever way, make it as small or as big as you like. But if you think about a map, and if you think that where you are at the moment is just one tiny pinpoint, and if you make your circle bigger by just 1 foot, you've increased that pinpoint size. And if you increase it by half a mile, you've got half a mile all the way around in that 360 degrees. And then if you expand it again and just take it one step at a time, whenever you feel comfortable, know that you can always step back into your comfort zone. Right, I've done enough talking. Sarah, back over to you.
Or, you know, folks, it's to me, and we're thinking about time because these are meant to be short. Comfort zone, and this enlightenment that came to me literally yesterday, as and then ended up by sitting and writing about it, is we don't need a comfort zone. And I genuinely do feel, and thinking about my own comfort zone, that it was created out of fear. It really was created out of fear. It's a fear of, okay, I better be careful about what I say. And am I comfortable within it? How many of us are truly, truly comfortable in our comfort zone? And if you think about it, how much of a lie is our comfort zone? Fear. I know there are 2 meanings that go around. There is a third that is the one that I feel strongest about. False evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
And I really do feel that our comfort zone is just that. When we step back into ourselves, and apparently Eckhart Tolle has written a book called Journeying into Yourself or something. And it's so much about journeying. So I have not read it. I literally discovered it when I I must look up this journeying into yourself. And it is so much about journey back into ourselves, reconnect with ourselves, every aspect we've disconnected with, because somebody has said, don't like that, don't do this, don't do that, don't. It's just like, and that's what I meant by rubble. It's because every little bit that we're buried under.
Yeah, there is so much rubble, and Sarah, I think that this leads into so many more conversations. And what would be lovely is if people could send in questions about different things, and maybe, and I know that the thoughtful nuggets and pearls, you know, they're meant to be short ones, but maybe if there's something that a few of that you write in about or ask a question, send it in to Sarah through her Twitter, through her Facebook page, you know, whichever, and ask them. And if you like the combination of Sarah and I chatting together, because we both can waffle, we were brought up with that, you know, and if you want to join us, if you've got questions or something like that, I'm sure if you ask Sarah that we could do a longer session, and maybe this is something that would actually help people, is to say, well, I understood what you said there, but maybe not there, or that's true for me in that respect, but it's not true for me in the other. And I think that there's definitely insights, and sometimes when you've got people bouncing off each other, you get different perspectives, which is really good. And I must admit, you know, this is the second or third time I've been on with you, on the second one on this one, and we've got another one in a couple of weeks, haven't we? And I love it. Because we can explore.
Yeah.
Back to you, Sarah, because I know you said it's meant to be short.
I think it's drawing a close, because this is what I love about doing these. It doesn't matter whether everybody watching says, "Oh, absolutely great." Yeah. You could be sitting there saying, "What a load of rubbish." Great. It doesn't matter what you think. It's making you think.
Yes.
But what I would really love it to do is make you feel. Yeah. And when you're going, "What a load of rubbish," what are you feeling?
Yeah. And
seriously, and I did one on thoughts and feelings last week. So do go into what you're feeling and why you're feeling. And has it actually other thoughts, those feelings, trying to shove you out your comfort zone?
Oh my goodness, yeah. And take a risk, and just know that your comfort zone is there for you to come back to if you want to. We all have that safe place. But is your comfort zone actually keeping you trapped? Is it false? I say false evidence appearing real. But there's, you know, there are so many different anagrams and different bits and pieces, and it's finding tools that work for you. I've loved this evening, and I'd like to say a huge thank you to Sarah for inviting me and making me step outside my comfort zone, get back there on in front of the camera again. And it's like, you know, so, and let me be honest, and so, you know, I can say this, and I'm here, and the light isn't fantastic, and to me, you might not have noticed it. To me, I had skin cancer a few years ago, and I have a scar down my nose here, and I don't wear makeup. I'm a no makeup type of girl, sort of thing. You know, it's just me. You get me as I sort of come as I am, sort of thing. And I'm quite aware of it, and the light is shining from this side, smack bang on the scar, and that's all I can see. So it's made me step outside my comfort zone.
Yeah, we both got scars here. You on your nose, me on my neck, and I don't make makeup either. What you see is what you get. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching this. We really hope this helped. Monday next week, I'm on my own and doing this, and I'm doing me time. Wednesday next week, I am being joined by Alice Terry, international psychic medium. She's in Australia, so that's 7:30 in the morning UK time, because it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon for her in Australia. And the following Wednesday, the 27th, because it's when Jackie's back with us, we're discussing charity and what does charity mean to you. And that's very much, we're doing that particular one because of If Everyone Cares and a Dodo, and what Jackie, her big thing that she's been working on for years, trying to help create a website for all charities, good causes, community projects. She's starting in the UK, but the dream is for it to be a worldwide website. So over the next couple of weeks, we've got another 3 programs for you folks. So we hope that you will join us. Thank you for being with us here tonight. Thank you, Jackie, for joining me.
Sarah.
Love, peace and light to you all. Namaste.
Namaste.